When we left yesterday, the skies were clear. Hopefully you didn't have any traffic-related problems yesterday or this morning. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you for your promptness, and welcome everybody else. We're going to resume. May we have Ms. Fleek retake the stand, please? Ms. Fleek, good morning.
Good morning.
You recognize and acknowledge you are still under oath and still sworn to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Resumption of direct examination by Mr. Walgren.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I just have one moment?
You may. Thank you.
Find a couple of exhibits, Your Honor.
Please take the moment. Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Fleek, I want to follow up in a couple areas that we discussed yesterday. And I have a couple additional photographs I'd like to show you. In regard to the hanging IV bag with the syringe in the port that you had initially booked as medical evidence, coroner's medical evidence number 2, I want to show you 2 photographs regarding that item. May those be marked Peoples 162 and 163, respectively, Your Honor?
Yes. Thank you.
Ms. Fleek, showing you Peoples 162, is this the saline bag as well as the tubing that you described yesterday regarding coroner's evidence number 2?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And in this photograph, zooming in at the lower portion of this photograph, does that depict the syringe with the depressed plunger as it was found near this Y connector in the tubing of the infusion set?
Yes.
Okay. And looking at Peoples 163, a close-up of that same vantage point, again, does this show the syringe essentially hanging upside down with the needle inserted into the port of that infusion set?
Yes.
And is that how it was when you found it?
Yes, it was.
Okay. On the bed where the decedent was located, did you locate and photograph a Bose radio CD player?
Yes, I did.
Okay. It was not medical equipment, correct?
No.
Okay.
Correct?
That is correct.
That is correct. It was not medical equipment.
Your Honor, I have a photograph of a Bose radio CD player with a CD lying on the bed next to it. May this be marked Peoples 164 for identification?
Yes.
Is this the Bose CD radio player that was photographed laying on the bed where the decedent died?
Yes, it is.
And zooming in, you see an actual CD next to it,
Correct.
as well as the label Bose, and you see the word CD there?
Yes.
Okay. Now on this, the initial date when you arrived at the scene on June 25th, 2009, did you also go into the bathroom? And if you recall the diagram, Peoples 19, if you're looking at the bedroom, and on the diagram you go to the right, where's the closet, and then further to the right on the diagram is the bathroom. Do you know to which bathroom I'm referring?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And did you go into that bathroom and photograph the general area as it appeared on June 25th, 2009?
There were overalls taken, yes.
Yes,
Overall
okay.
photographs.
And was there clothing on the floor in that bathroom that you photographed?
Yes, there was.
I have two photographs of appears to be a black bomber type jacket with an orange lining and possibly black pants. May these be marked Peoples 165 and 166 respectively, Your Honor?
Yes.
Showing you Peoples 165. Is that the clothing that you photographed on the bathroom floor?
Yes, it is.
Okay, specifically this black article of clothing that I'm pointing to here to the left of what appears to be a jacket with an orange lining,
Yes.
and showing you People's 166. Again, is that the same view looking into the bathroom from the closet area showing the same clothing on the floor?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I have one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
showing you what yesterday was marked. People's Exhibit 117 which depicts what is now marked, depicts a syringe which is now marked People's 118. You testified that that's the condition you found it in. Again, seated on the glass table and no needle attached. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you additionally had observed and collected an IV catheter under the ambu bag as depicted in 119. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And that actual IV catheter was marked as evidence People's 120 yesterday. Now I have a question about these two items. Did you initially book both the syringe depicted in 117 and the IV catheter depicted in 119? Did you characterize those collectively as a broken syringe?
Yes, that's how I initially described them in my report.
Okay. Were they ever, to your personal knowledge, were they ever attached in any way?
No, they weren't. I shouldn't have described them as a broken syringe. I should have described it as a depressed plunger on the table and an IV catheter on the ground.
Okay. Was there anything broken or defective about either item?
No, I just described it when I first wrote the report.
Okay. And subsequently, have you viewed both items and observed that People's 117, as recovered, has a circular tip at the end for
Yeah.
purposes of attachment?
Yes.
Okay. And did you also further observe and conclude that the IV catheter shown in People's 119 actually has a square or rectangular tip for purposes of attachment?
Yes, later on after I had written my first report, I actually was able to see them manipulated and put together, and they don't belong together.
Okay.
It's just, at the scene, I did not try to put them together. I just described it as a broken syringe.
So that was just an assumption you made?
Yeah,
Okay, but not accurate?
correct.
Okay. And when you observed them on a subsequent day, you were able to conclude that as recovered, they don't even fit together?
Right.
Okay. And the syringe, again, as reflected in People's 117, which depicts People's 118, are you aware that your thumbprint was actually located on the syringe, and the thumbprint was located on the syringe and actually matched to your thumb?
Yes, I found that out later.
Okay. And do you have any idea how it is that you left your thumbprint on that syringe?
I don't know when that happened. I typically wear gloves. I always wear gloves at crime scenes and when I'm collecting evidence, but at some point, either in the moving of the table to take additional photographs or possibly in the repackaging of the evidence, I must have touched that without a glove.
Okay, when you say moving of the table, is that this
glass table that is next to the bed, or both tables actually were moved when I was at the scene so that we could photograph the glass vials that were on the floor below the tables.
Okay, which included the propofol bottle on the floor?
Right, a propofol bottle, yes.
Okay. So that glass and metal table was moved in order to clearly photograph the propofol bottle?
Yes, both tables were slightly moved, the wooden table and the glass and metal table.
Okay. And it's your testimony that it's possible during that movement your thumb may have depressed on the syringe?
That's not what she testified to.
Sustained.
That's not evidence.
We ask.
Okay. Do you know if you were wearing gloves when you moved those tables?
I don't remember if I was wearing gloves when the tables were moved.
Okay. But you don't dispute that your thumbprint was found on that syringe?
No.
Okay. Now, Yesterday, we were discussing, or at the end of the day, we began to speak about medical records. Did you issue a subpoena to Mr. Ed Chernoff seeking all medical records pertaining to Conrad Murray's care of Michael Jackson?
I have to check my notes. I believe the subpoena is actually issued to Dr. Murray.
Okay. And I believe you're correct.
Yes, it's the subpoena's to Dr. Murray. It's not to Mr. Chernoff.
Okay. But prior to issuance of the subpoena, had you been contacted by Mr. Chernoff and he requested that essentially all correspondence go through him?
Yes, immediately following the death, I was trying to reach Dr. Murray.
Non-responsive.
Yes is the answer. The objection is sustained. Everything after yes is stricken, disregarded. Thank you.
Were you contacted by Mr. Chernoff who requested that correspondence go through him?
Yes.
Okay. And that was prior to July 1st, 2009?
Yes,
Okay. Was that on June 29th, 2009?
correct.
Okay. And did you then issue the subpoena to Conrad Murray, but through his counsel, Mr. Ed Chernoff?
Yes.
Okay. And in that subpoena, did you specifically request any and all of the above-named decedent's medical records, including radiology and psychiatric records as well, with the above-named decedent being Michael Joseph Jackson?
Correct.
And did you email that subpoena to Mr. Chernoff on July 1st, 2009?
Yes.
Okay. And did you get a response from Mr. Chernoff?
I did.
Okay. Indicating that he had enclosed the medical records for Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you about those medical records. And did any of the records provided pertain to the events surrounding June 25th, 2009, and the care provided, let's say, April, May, June of 2009?
No, all of the records were dated prior to that.
Okay. And I want to go through these records with you. And I'm just going to quickly reference them. But going through this document, which was marked Peoples 161, page by page, the first page is an allergy drug reaction card.
Yes, it is.
Second page is related to Omar Arnold, actually has the initials in parentheses MJJ, and lists various Benequin, Z-Pak, Robitussin, things of that nature.
Yes, it does.
The next page is dated January 11th, 2006, with the name Omar Arnold.
Right.
The next page depicts a possible insurance card with the date at the bottom being January 31st, 2007.
Correct.
The next page references a Paul Farnce, Farnce, with the initials in parentheses MJJ, and dated January 11th, 2008.
Yes.
The next page has a date of February 1st, 2007.
Correct.
Next page, again, a copy of what appears to be an insurance card dated January 31st, 2007.
Yes.
Next page being a blank, appears to be possibly a fax cover sheet
Yes, it is.
with another blank form relaying financial policy,
Yes.
followed by a blank patient consent form,
Yes.
followed by appears to be from a medical publication discussing or a medical publication in regard to hydroquinone, and at the top it indicates depigmenting agent.
Right.
trailed by multiple pages that appear to be from a medical publication. Going to the next page, again a document referencing Paul Ferrance with a date of November 13th, 2007. Again showing the initials MJJ. Second page of the same document, dated November 13th, 2007. A document regarding patient Michael Jackson, dated September 26, 2008. Is that correct?
Yes.
Handwritten notes referencing patient Omar Arnold with the dates September 26, 2008 and November 19, 2008.
Right.
A document reflecting patient Michael Jackson with the date of February 1st, 2008.
Yes.
Same patient Michael Jackson referencing April 12th, 2007.
Right.
Same patient Michael Jackson referencing March 7th, 2007.
Yes.
Going to the next page in the medical records that were provided, handwritten progress notes for patient Omar Arnold, initials MJJ, with an entry, first entry March 2007, is that right?
Yes.
Going down that same page, an reference of April 12th, 2007,
April, yes.
and February 1st, 2008.
Yes.
The next page referencing patient Michael Jackson with the date of July 24th, 2006.
Yes.
Next page referencing patient Omar Arnold with a date of visit July 24th, 2006.
Yes.
Next page, a typed document referencing patient Michael Jackson with the date of January 11th, 2006.
Yes.
Handwritten notes for patient Omar Arnold, date of visit being January 11th, 2006.
Yes.
Handwritten notes with indication Michael, first entry being Robitussin with no date.
Right.
And then going through the records, these documents are these prescriptions?
Yes.
Okay. And they're all with the physician being Conrad Murray, MD, from Global Cardiovascular Associates?
Right. It's a copy of 2 prescription.
Okay. And this first one to the left being dated February 10th, 2007, and to the right also same date, February 10th, 2007.
Yes.
Going to the next document, an echocardiograph report listing the patient's name as Michael Jackson with an exam date of January 17th, 2007.
Yeah.
Next page of that document, listing the patient as Omar Arnold with the date of January 17th, 2007.
Yes.
The next document being Tower St. John's Imaging, again with the name Conrad Murray, patient being a Paul Ferrance, exam date November 13th, 2007.
Yes.
The second page of that document, again with the same date of exam, same patient, November 13th, 2007.
Yes.
The next page again being Tower St. John Imaging with the name Conrad Murray, MD, patient being Paul Ferrance, initials MJJ, date of exam November 13th, 2007.
Yes.
The next page being from Steinberg Diagnostic Medical Imaging Center, patient Michael Jackson, exam date March 26, 2007.
Yes.
Second page of that document has the name Mike Smith, S-M-Y-T-H-E, crossed out, and the name Omar Arnold, exam date of March 26, 2007.
Yes.
And the final page of that document, as well as the records, being the second, appears to be the second page, but lists a different patient, Paul Ferrance, date of exam November 13th, 2007. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
And do these records that I've just referenced page by page in People's 161 contain all of the records provided in response to your subpoena for all records that Conrad Murray had related to the treatment of Michael Jackson?
I did. There were other pages that I received.
Okay. Related to the children?
Yes.
Okay. But no other records related, and when I say the children, Michael Jackson's children?
Right.
Okay. And for patient privacy, those have been removed. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. But do these records represent completely and entirely all the records related to Michael Jackson that were provided to you by Conrad Murray through his attorney, Ed Chernoff?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing further.
Mr. Walgren, thank you. Mr. Chernoff, cross-examination, please.
Thank you, Judge.
One moment, please. Thank you.
May I?
You may. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Fleek. How are you?
Good morning.
Want to fill in some blanks. You took a lot of photos, did you not, during your investigation of the scene on June 25th, June 29th?
I don't know the exact number of photos that I took.
Does a lot sound a lot what you took?
I've taken more.
Certainly more than what was presented so far yesterday.
I've taken more in other cases.
Ms. Fleek, I'm not trying to trick you. Did you take more photos than were shown yesterday to the jury?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, yesterday you spent a lot of time with Mr. Walgren chronicling, showing the items that were recovered and pointing out pictures that were taken. But I want to talk about your role in this investigation. Okay? When you were called out on June 25th, 2009, you were called out as the investigator, the coroner's investigator in this case. Is that right?
Yes.
You have been a coroner's investigator for, you said, 8 years.
Yes.
And by that time, you had been at least 6, 7 years. You'd been a coroner investigator. Is that right?
Yes.
And you understand the importance of your job.
Yes.
You, I believe, what you said yesterday was that you collect evidence, complete report for autopsy to determine cause of death. Is that right?
Yes.
And you said that your job is to collect as much information as possible to provide to the pathologist to make a determination about cause of death, right?
Yes.
And mode of death.
Yes.
And that's important not just for families of individuals who die. That's important for them, you would agree.
Yes, it is.
It's also important for individuals who are subsequently accused of a crime.
Yes.
And so you go down, when you do scene investigations, you chronicle the evidence, right? You write down what you find.
Correct.
You collect evidence, right?
Right.
And you do that with as much accuracy as possible.
Yes.
And you're as thorough as possible,
Yes.
understanding the importance of your mission.
Yes.
Now, when you went down to the Carolwood address on June 25th, 2009, you were the one in charge of doing all of that, of collecting evidence and chronicling it, right?
Correct.
You were the one who bagged up at pieces of items that you saw at the scene.
Yes.
You were the one who took photographs.
Yes. I took some photographs. There was also LAPD photographer there as well.
But you were primarily responsible for that task.
For the photographs, no.
Were you primarily responsible for collecting evidence, chronicling evidence?
Yes.
You were the one doing the scene investigation.
In conjunction with the handling police agency.
On the 25th?
Yes.
Who was there helping you out on the 25th?
The detectives from the LAPD and a crime scene photographer. I don't know his name.
What detectives?
Detective Scott Smith was there from the LAPD. And
Cool.
my supervisor, Assistant Chief Ed Winter, was also there.
Did Scott Smith collect any evidence?
I don't believe so on that day.
Do you know if Scott Smith took pictures?
No, he did not have a camera.
Did he make charts or notes to your knowledge? Do you know?
He took notes. He had a notebook.
Okay. And what about Ed Winters? Did he take notes?
I do not know if he did or not.
So you're the one who took notes, took photos, collected evidence, right?
Yes, I did.
Let's, we're going to go back to June 25th. I want to fast forward 4 days to June 29th. Okay?
Okay.
Come back. When you made the scene on June 29th, 2009, it was in response to information from Detective Scott Smith. Is that right?
Yes.
Detective Smith told you, I spoke to Dr. Murray.
I don't know if he said specifically he talked to him, but he said he had additional information about the doctor.
And he told you that there would be items, perhaps items at Carolwood, in a bag, in some bags in a closet.
Yes.
And
But
when
there
you-
was additional medical evidence to collect.
Right, we'll go over that. But that's what he told you, right?
Objection, that's what you're answering.
Is that-
I'm unclear about the substance of it. So, sustained. Could you re-ask, please?
Scott Smith told you, prior to your visit to Carolwood on June 29th, that there was evidence to be recovered or items to be recovered in bags in a closet.
I don't believe he said in bags in a closet at the time.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Tell us exactly what he told you.
That there was additional medical evidence to collect from a room off to the side of the bedroom.
And you didn't ask him what evidence?
No, not at that time. I just said I would meet him there.
You didn't say, Detective Smith, where did you get that information?
I did not at that time. When he first initially talked to me, I did not ask more questions. I just said I would meet him there.
All right. So you just hung up and took off for Carolwood.
I think we discussed the time, and
All right. Did you talk to him before you went to Carolwood? Before you made it to Carolwood?
just that initial conversation.
Or did you discuss with him what you were looking for? What he suggested, where you go to look for?
Once I was there, yes.
Okay. And at that point, did he tell you, I've been told that it'll be in that closet, bags in that closet. Did he tell you that?
Yes.
And you directly went to that closet.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the process of that search on June 29th. Were you the one that was picking up bags, going into bags, taking things out of bags?
Yes.
Okay. And Detective Smith was next to you when you were doing this?
Yes, I believe Detective Smith was there. I don't know if his partner was there as well, but a crime scene photographer from LAPD was also there.
Detective Myers might have been there?
I don't remember if it was Detective Myers. I know Detective Smith was there. I think Myers was there also.
Okay. All right, so let me show you what's been previously marked as People's 128. This is a picture of that closet that you went into, right?
Yes, it is.
And these are the bags that was in that specific closet, right? Okay. You said that you were the one who went into those bags. I assume that those bags were eventually placed on a table. Is that right?
Right.
And all the items that were in that cubby hole there that we saw that I just took off was placed on a table, right?
Yes.
Let me show you People's 129. That's the table.
Yes, it is.
And then you took a picture. We started with the blue Costco bag, right?
Yes.
Which testified to? Let me show you People's 134. So then you took a picture of either Scott Smith or Detective Myers opening up that blue Costco bag, right?
Yes.
Your picture, right?
Yes. Actually, I don't know if that was my picture or the LAPD photographer took that one.
Well, what were you doing when the bag was being opened?
Watching.
You just don't know if you were taking pictures or not?
Yeah, I don't remember at that specific moment if I was taking the picture or if that was an LAPD picture.
Okay. Let's look at People's 135. Picture was taken inside the bag.
Yes.
Once again, do you remember them opening this bag?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember looking inside the bag?
Yes.
You just don't remember clicking a picture.
Right.
Could be anybody. Could have been the LAPD.
Right.
All right. Then you laid certain items out on the table. And let me show you. I'm going to mark. What's defense next, Your Honor, please?
M as in Mike.
Okay. Let me show you defense as in Mike. This is a picture of items that were laid on a table, right?
That is a picture of the items that were in some of the crumpled packaging that came out of that bag. That's not, I don't know if that's everything or not. I'd have to look at my notes.
Okay. Well, I didn't say it was everything, but is this stuff that came out of the blue Costco bag, or is it?
Yes,
It is.
it is.
Did you take this picture?
I don't know if it was me or the LAPD photographer.
While this is going on, can I have the lights, please? While this is going on, what exactly were you doing?
I was standing next to the table observing,
Were you taking notes?
taking notes, sometimes taking the stuff out of the bags,
And what was Scott Smith doing?
taking notes and observing.
So he's standing right next to you.
Yes.
Okay? Let me show you. I accidentally marked this defense M. I'm going to cross it out and put N.
And it's November.
Yes. Let me show you defense N. This is another picture taken of those items, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you take this picture?
I don't remember.
Defense O, this is another picture of some other items, right?
What was an Oscar?
O is an Oscar. Is that right?
Yes.
And we see that it's a little different than defense N, right?
Yes.
Different placement, right, of the items, right?
Or a different angle of where the person taking it was. I'm not sure.
Well, we see defense N, 2 midazolam bottles, right?
Okay.
And we see defense O, 1.
Okay.
Did you take these photos?
Well, is that one standing up next to the wrapper near the bottom of it?
Am I pointing this one right here?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to testify, but it may be lorazepam. You see here, they moved that too.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know why it was moved?
No.
No particular reason, right?
At the time, we were just trying to get general overall photographs of the items, so I'm not sure at what point each one was taken.
Okay. And while this was going on, you were taking notes, right?
Yes.
Scott Smith was taking notes,
I believe so, yes.
and photos were being taken.
Yes.
All right. You then further proceeded to take more stuff out of the bag you testified, right? Other than what I just showed?
I believe so.
Well, you testified that you went further, you took more stuff out.
We took everything out of both bags, or of all 3 bags that were in there.
Let me show you, and I don't remember what people's number this is, but it was offered. This, the propofol bottle and cut IV bag. You said you recognized this.
Yes.
And this was taken, you said, out of the blue Costco bag, right?
Yes.
Now, this picture, and there was actually 2 pictures taken of this propofol bottle and this blue cut IV bag. Do you remember that? 2 photos?
I don't remember how many photos were taken of that specifically.
All right. Well, this one was offered into evidence.
Well,
And-
I don't think it's been offered
Well,
yet.
didn't
It's
you?
been identified, though. Can we have a number for it?
Yeah, I don't have a number for it.
It should be on the exhibit itself.
Yeah, and I don't have it here. $28. 2.8. People's 2.8, Judge.
That's what I show.
Do you remember taking more photos of this?
More photos than what?
People's 28.
I don't know how many photos were actually taken of it.
Do you remember taking more photos than this?
No, I don't specifically remember.
All right. When this came out, this was during the period of time that you and Detective Smith were pulling items out of the Costco bag, right?
Yes.
It was during the period of time that you and Detective Smith were taking notes about the items that were being pulled out of the Costco bag.
Yes.
All right. Do you have with you your 3A form that you prepared in this case?
Yes, I do.
And there were 2 3A forms, is that right?
3.
All right. There was one from June 25th,
Correct?
one from June 26th,
No.
all right, one from June 29th.
Yes.
Now,
And one from later.
in August. Is that right? In August?
Yes. I'm sorry, July 8th.
Okay. The Form 3A, could you tell us what that is?
It is one of our evidence logs that is to document medical evidence at the coroner's office.
And let me show you do you have your investigator's narrative?
Yes, I do.
All right, and what is an investigator's narrative?
The narrative is a written document that describes an overall scene investigation, an overall body exam. You are to list information sources from it, people you spoke to and got information at the scene. It also lists the next of kin. The Form 3 narrative has location of death, witness statements, identification, how the body was identified.
All right, evidence, scene evidence,
Yes, there is a section for evidence.
and the Form 3A is titled medical evidence, right?
The Form 3A is a, yes.
All right. Do you have your coroner case notes?
Yes, I do.
And this is notes that you take as you do certain things in the case?
The coroner case notes are for additional information that may not have been in the narrative or the 3A or the evidence log.
And you have that in front of you.
I have those with me.
Do you have your original notes while you were standing there that you wrote down in front of you?
From June 29th, yes, from the bags.
May I approach the witness for a second, Judge?
You may.
May I see what is being shown to the witness?
It's being shown to Mr. Walden.
Is this the case notes that you prepared June 29th? I want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes.
Okay. Did you note, well, what can you show us in your original case notes from June 29th where you say that you saw a propofol bottle in an IV bag?
In those notes there,
In your original June 29th notes.
I just listed at the top of the page where it says Costco blue bag. The first line says medical IV bag cut open, 100 ml, Na chloride 9.9%. And then right below that, 100 milliliter propofol open with liquid printed. I did not indicate that it was inside.
That's what you wrote.
Right.
Okay. Will you show us in your coroner chrono where you wrote that there was a propofol bottle in an IV bag?
On which note?
Or any note. Any note in your coroner chrono. Can you show us where you said that you found a propofol bottle in an IV bag?
No. I didn't write that it was inside the bag, inside the cut saline bag.
Investigator's narrative?
No.
In fact, the very first time that you noted that there was a propofol bottle in an IV bag was the 29th of March, 2011.
In case notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
Which happens to be exactly 1 week before the last trial setting.
I don't know. I don't remember that date.
Well, who asked you to prepare to revise your original notes to reflect that?
Objection. Argumentative misstates the testimony.
It may assume facts not in evidence. The objection is sustained. You may be asked,
Why did you revise the notes a week before the last trial setting?
Objection. Use of revised.
the objection is sustained as the term.
Well, you do remember, don't you, a week before those revised notes, meeting...
I think I think I'm going to have to re-ask, please.
Well, I'm not going to ask that exact question. I'm asking a different question.
Well, it's the use of the term revised.
Do you remember a week before those notes were taken, meeting with me at the coroner's office?
Yes.
And Mr. Flanagan was there?
I don't remember if he was or not.
Are you sure? Okay. But you remember me?
I remember you.
Okay, well, that's good. There was another lawyer there as well, Charles Peckham.
Okay.
You remember?
I don't remember his name.
We gave all our business cards to the coroner himself was there, and I'm going to ask you to pronounce his name for me. I still can't do it.
Dr. Lakshmanan.
Okay. And Dr. Rogers was there.
Yes.
Ed Winters was there.
Yes.
I know I'm missing somebody, but
I believe Dan Anderson, our toxicologist.
that's right. That's right. And I asked you then about that cut IV bag. Do you remember that question?
No, I don't remember having that conversation with you.
You don't remember standing to the left of me, and I asked you what was in that IV bag?
I don't remember talking to you about that on that day,
And
or at all.
You don't remember talking to me, and the coroner himself said, "Stop right there, you need to submit this in writing." You don't remember that conversation?
The objection is sustained.
When is the first time that you told prosecutors about this propofol bottle in an IV bag?
I don't remember the date.
Was it in 2011?
I really don't remember.
Was it in response to a conversation about one of their witnesses saying he saw a vial in a bag?
No, I've never discussed another witness with them.
Well, you don't even remember talking with them about it, do you?
Well, I know I didn't talk about another witness.
Have you ever heard of Alberto Alvarez?
No.
Have you been paying attention to this trial? Did you see him testify?
I recently have heard his name, but I have not been watching the trial in detail or regularly, and I had not heard of him until I believe it was 2 days ago. His name was said.
Did you take any notes of your... we're going to go back now to June 25th. Did you take any notes when you collected that evidence on June 25th?
I did.
Okay. And where are those notes?
I did not save those notes. All of the information from my hand notes on the 25th was put into the narrative, the evidence log, and case notes.
Where was those handwritten notes? Where were they kept that you would have lost them?
Objection misstates the testimony.
The objection is sustained.
Did you lose them or did you intentionally delete them?
I intentionally destroy all of my notes from scenes once I write the Form 3A.
Except for June 29th.
Correct. Because that was a lot more information than I usually have.
Why would you destroy your note from June 25th?
Because after a normal scene investigation, I get rid of my notes and I put everything into a narrative. Returning to a scene a second time is not something that's typical, and there was a lot of medical evidence, so I kept those notes.
But the scene notes that reflected the evidence that was there on the day that Michael Jackson died, you destroyed.
Right, I do that in all my cases.
All right. Ms. Fleek, would you agree with me that you made a substantial number of mistakes in your investigation of this case?
No.
You would. Well, would you agree with me that if you don't take notes, you don't keep your notes, that's bad investigation, that's bad investigative work? Would you agree?
No.
Why do you think you take notes, Ms. Fleek?
To write the report?
Well, what about later when you have to testify and you have to refresh your recollection?
You then have your report to read off of.
So your report is complete and thorough.
At that time, yes.
And the report of the things that you found on June 25th, 2009 is reflected in one form, Form 3A.
No, the
Okay.
narrative 3, the Form 3A, the evidence log, and then case notes.
Well, let's go to let's talk about this. Yesterday you testified that you saw a flumazenil bottle on the floor.
Yes,
You said you found a flumazenil bottle near the propofol, in the same area, is the words that Mr. Waldron used, of the propofol bottle.
yes,
But you didn't show any pictures of that flumazenil bottle.
correct,
And there are no pictures of that flumazenil bottle
correct.
because you were asked to find it. You were asked to look for it.
I was
Weren't you?
asked to look for what?
Did you review the photos before testifying?
Some of them, yes.
And weren't you asked, hey, where's the picture of the flumazenil bottle?
Not specifically.
Can I just a second, Judge?
Sure. It's all right.
That's right in front of me, that's why. Okay. Let me show you what's been marked as people's. $100. This is something that was shown to you earlier.
Yes,
You have a laser pointer up there with you?
I do.
Show us where the flumazenil bottle is in relation to this photo.
It was closer to the bed underneath one of the tables, the table closest to the bed.
You sure about that?
Yes.
No question.
No.
You're as sure about that as you are that there was a propofol bottle in the IV bag, right?
Yes.
This photo was also shown, and I believe it was people 116. Remember this photo?
Yes, I do.
And you were asked, what's that? What's that? What's that? Remember those questions?
Right.
I want to know what that is.
That's the bottle of flumazenil.
That's right, it is.
Indicating where, please?
That's exactly right. It's a bottle of flumazenil on the table.
Yes.
On the table. Right?
Yes.
You didn't testify to that yesterday. Did you know that yesterday?
I testified that I originally saw it on the floor.
And then what did you do with it?
At the time, we were trying to get photos of the propofol bottle on the floor. So we moved the table, I picked up the flumazenil and put it on the table prior to it being photographed.
Yesterday you didn't testify that there was a flumazenil bottle on the table. Today you are.
Yesterday
Right.
I was asked if the flumazenil bottle, where I found it, and I found it on the floor.
And you moved it.
And I moved it.
The syringe, you testified, People's 117, You testified you found that on the table.
I did find that on the table.
But this syringe has your fingerprint on it,
Yes, it
right?
does.
Your thumbprint, right?
I don't know if it's thumb or finger. I don't know which finger it
On the
is.
floor, Miss Fleek, did you move this to the table?
I did not move that.
You don't consider any of that a mistake? Is that what your testimony is?
A mistake? No.
Yeah. Okay.
I do believe that I should have photographed the flumazenil on the floor before I put it onto the table. Yes, in hindsight, I would have done that.
Why don't you take a look at your investigative summary, narrative.
Okay.
Sorry, just a second.
Certainly.
Let me show you People's 115. This is a picture on the side of the bed, right?
Yes.
In your investigator's narrative, you relate that you saw, I believe you've already testified, a broken syringe on the floor.
Yes, I testified that I described that incorrectly.
Actually, you revised that at the preliminary hearing, didn't you?
Objection, argumentative, misstates testimony.
Sustained.
At the preliminary hearing, you said it was not broken, but that a needle was on the floor that might attach to the syringe on the table. Isn't that what you said?
I don't know specifically what was said in the prelim, but I should have described it as two separate pieces, not a broken syringe.
You recall saying in the preliminary hearing,
Page reference.
Page line, please.
825. Yes, there was a syringe on the table as well and a needle on the ground on the left side of the bed. Is that something you said?
Yes.
Question, when you say syringe, what are you referring to? Answer, the plunger and the top part of the syringe in plastic. That's page 825. So there was a syringe, this is page 827.
And start question and answer.
Yeah,
for
question.
benefit.
So there was a syringe on the nightstand without a needle attached. Correct. Question, then there was a needle on the floor. And you said right.
Yes.
And that was at the preliminary hearing. Under oath.
Okay.
You were under oath, right?
Yes.
And today, your testimony is it was a catheter, not a needle. Right?
Well, an IV catheter contains a needle portion.
You want me to go further with your testimony? You remember the conversation you had with Mr. Walgren about maybe the needle was attached to the syringe? Do you remember that conversation at preliminary hearing?
No. I don't remember it specifically.
Would it help you to see your testimony?
Yes.
Can I approach?
Yes. Showing the witness what pages and what lines, please.
28, question. Third line down.
I'm sorry, say that again.
828, third line down. questions. So
No. I think you should show the
Read this
witness.
question, read this answer, and I'll answer.
Okay. So it is just a.
No. Any of the most recent readings are stricken. Disregard them. I think Mr. Chernoff just wants you to see if looking at what is on there helps you refresh your memory. Then we can go to the next step.
Okay.
So read it quietly and then see if your memory's refreshed.
Okay.
Do you remember the conversation about the syringe, about the needle?
Yes.
Where you said maybe it had been attached earlier, right?
Objection, misstates the testimony you just read.
Sustained.
Mr. Walgren asked you, do you have an independent knowledge that those went together? Answer, no. Question, Mr. Walgren, so it is just a separate syringe. There was a syringe and a needle on the floor that may have been together at one point and may not have been. Answer, right. Remember that conversation?
Yes.
Today, you would agree that there's no way those two could be together. Isn't that your testimony?
Yes.
Because this, I'm going to mark defense next, Judge.
He is in Papa.
P is in Papa. Got it. Because this wasn't a needle at all, it was a catheter, right?
Yes, that's what I found out later.
You found out how?
I believe it was in a meeting looking at evidence with Mr. Walgren and Dr. Rogers.
Okay. Let me show you. I'm going to mark this as defense.
Q.
Q.
Quebec. Thank you.
Let me show you defense exhibit Q, which is a photo of the side of the bed. You recall in your investigator narrative that you said that you saw some latex gloves on the floor next to the bed.
I don't specifically. Yes, is that in the narrative?
Well, you can tell me. Is that what you said?
I'd have to read through the narrative. I don't have it memorized.
Well, it's in front of you. It's only 2 pages. You want to take a look?
Counsel have a page reference?
I'll tell you what. I'll make it easy. Last sentence of your scene description. An ambu bag and latex gloves.
Objection. Does counsel have a page reference? She has a whole notebook of materials in front of her.
Thank
It's
you.
Bait stamp 233.
Just a moment, so that the witness can retrieve her materials. Are your materials bait stamped?
No.
You want to pay? Let me just bring her a copy of it. You testified earlier. You had the investigator's narrative in front of you. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Are you looking at it as we speak?
Yes, I am.
Do you see that it has 3 pages?
Yes.
I'm going to direct you to the second page where it says scene description.
Yes.
And you see at the last line of the scene description.
Yes.
Would you like to read that?
An ambu bag and latex gloves lay on the floor next to the bed.
Can you show us in defense Q? Can I have the lights, please? Where the latex gloves were lying?
Not in this photo.
Or what photo? Do you have a photo of the latex gloves?
I'd have to look at the other scene photos.
Well, you can't remember from your memory?
There were some gloves, I believe, closer to the urine bottle. The chairs on the floor. I don't know if they're in a specific picture or which picture they're in. From my memory, I know there were some gloves on the floor.
Let me see. We talked about you taking notes, right? In this
Yes.
testimony. We talked
Right.
about how you destroy your notes because you put it all written down in the forms, in the reports, right?
Correct.
Because that's complete enough, right? Isn't that
Yes.
what you said?
Yes.
And now you're saying you don't remember where the gloves were.
No, I'm saying they were closer to the urine bottle chair on this side of the bed, not in this photograph.
You're sure about that?
Yes.
as sure about that as you are about the propofol bottle in the IV bag?
Yes, I am.
Got it. Let's zoom in here. Do you see what's on the chair there?
Are those gloves? I can't see exactly.
I'm going to go defense U as in United.
Well, I think we've skipped over some of the alphabet.
I don't-
Aren't we up to R?
Unless I sing it, I can't do it.
R is in Romeo.
All right, got it.
The phonetic alphabet.
Okay.
R.
Let me show you defense R. I'm going to go back so you can see the whole thing. What does that look like to you in the chair?
Gloves?
Did you reflect that in your investigator narrative?
No,
Did you reflect that in any of your notes?
I don't believe so.
You apparently thought it was important enough to note that you saw latex gloves, right?
Yes,
Okay. Do you consider that a mistake?
no.
No. All right. I'm going to go back to. Let me have your iPad. Where is it? I want to go back to this propofol bottle and this IV bag. All right? I ask you to you said that you haven't been following this trial very much. Is that right?
Well, I haven't watched it every day, correct?
You would agree with me looking at this cut IV bag. This is what this is, the cut IV bag you found.
Mm-hmm.
You can see there are
Yes.
Yes.
You can see there are droplets of water that are formed here on this IV bag.
Yes.
Clear water.
I don't know if it's water.
Well, it's a saline bag. Could be saline, right?
Correct.
But it's clear.
Yes.
And let's go over here. You agree with me there's no milky fluid in this IV bag.
From this photo, no.
Is there another photo out there that would show milky fluid in the IV bag?
I don't think so.
Me neither. So let me ask you this. Was this tested by the coroner?
Yes, it
And
was.
beyond her expertise, there will be a toxicologist testifying.
I didn't ask what the results were.
I
just asked.
understand. In your personal knowledge, was this tested by the coroner's office in your presence?
Not in my presence. I believe it was.
Could I have the lights, please? I want to spend a little bit of time with Miss Fleet going over some other pieces of evidence that you saw, other items that you saw in this room. When you went in on the 25th, was your investigation, was it limited to just bedroom number 2? Can I see?
It primarily was in bedroom number 2.
Well, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you what primarily meant. What does that mean?
That's where the majority of evidence was collected from.
Did you go into any other room?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Let me show you People's Exhibit 19. This was shown to you during your testimony. Do you recall that?
Yes.
You recall that you were asked about this bedroom, second floor bedroom number 2. That's identified as bedroom number 2 in this diagram, right?
Yes.
And you were asked about this bathroom over here, right?
Yes.
And this closet here, right?
Yes.
And you said you went in there, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you about this bedroom over here. Did you go in there?
I was at the doorway. I walked in, glanced, and walked out. I did not search that bedroom in detail.
Far left.
Yeah, to the far left, I'm pointing where it says balcony, underneath the balcony, that room. You didn't go in there, you just stuck your head in there.
Yes.
All right, now we see here that the diagram is cut off here, and it's actually not labeled as bedroom number 2, where I'm pointing, which is the far left. You don't know whether there was a bathroom attached to that bedroom, do you?
I was told there was a bathroom back there, yes.
Who told you there was a bathroom back there?
My supervisor, Assistant Chief Ed Winter.
Because he went back there.
I don't remember if he did or not.
Well, there's nothing all that interesting about a bathroom. Why would he tell you about a bathroom?
Objection calls for speculation and relevance.
It's argumentative. Sustained.
When did you have the conversation with Ed Winter?
Objection relevant.
Overruled. About that issue?
Yes.
You may answer.
At the scene? On the 25th?
On the 25th?
Yes.
No. So Ed Winter went in there on the 25th?
I don't know if he went in there or not.
Do you know if any photos were taken?
I don't know.
Where's Ed Winters today?
Objection relevant.
Sustained.
Is he in town?
Objection relevant.
Sustained. Another subject, please.
The coroner collected... Can I have the lights, please? Thanks. The coroner collected certain items from that bathroom, though. You know that, right?
Yes.
And that happened on the 26th of June.
Correct.
You were not there at that
I
time.
wasn't there on the 26th.
Ed Winters was.
Correct.
And so was Scott Smith.
I don't know.